Hi guys, this is AndromedaGames, and these are the best free Android RPGs of 2014 Part 2. First up we have Legion of Heroes, published by NEXON. Here is a really high quality MMORPG. When you start there's 4 different classes. There's a big open world where you can see other players, and the game is really similar to Atlantica Online. So the combat is instanced and turn-based, and you can collect tons of characters to join your party, and you can control all of your characters. So the combat's kind of unique. The game has a story and lots of quests. This game has an auto move feature that guides you where to go, and the game's pretty fun and addicting. It's a high quality MMORPG, so go check it out. Next up we have Darkness Reborn, published by GAMEVIL. Here's a new action RPG by GAMEVIL, and it's the sequel to Dark Avenger. You can play as a Spartan warrior,
This is Sparta!
a kunoichi ninja, and there's other classes coming soon. The controls are pretty standard, joystick to move and a button to attack. You can also dodge, and there are skills to use. The combat's really fast paced, and the gameplay is really smooth, and is arguably better than Critica. You can see other people in town and there's real-time PvP, but the stages are mainly single player, and there's a lot of stages and boss battles. Also the graphics look really good. It's a really high quality action RPG to check out. Next up we have Help Me Jack Atomic Adventure, published by NHN Entertainment. Here's a new action RPG with nice cartoony graphics. There's a joystick to move and a button to attack. This game kinda looks like it's for kids, but it's actually really cool. Very action oriented and it's fun to play. There's 3 classes, but you have to unlock 2 of them. And basically you go through stages rescuing people. The game feels high quality, and it's a really nice hack and slash RPG to check out.
Yes!
Next up we have Toram Online, published by Asobimo. Now before everyone gets too excited, this game is actually in Japanese, although it had an update recently that translated quite a bit of stuff into English. When you start there's quite a bit of appearance customization, and the game has 4 different classes. There was a lot of cutscenes in the tutorial, and the graphics look really good. Close up you can kinda see the pixels, but from a distance the world looks beautiful. This game is also related to Iruna Online, so it looks similar, but it's much improved. You can move with a joystick and the combat is point and click. The game is in Japanese, but it has a fairly large English community. They're slowly translating this game into English, and if you want to get a head start you can go try it out. Next up we have Terra Battle, published by MISTWALKER Corporation. Here's an interesting strategy tactics game from the creators of Final Fantasy. The game has lots of content and lots of levels, and you fight monsters on this big grid. So it's turn-based and you can drag one character around each time, but you can also push your other characters around. The game requires strategy and you form a line to attack the enemies. Certain classes do more damage to other classes. There's new characters to collect. There is stamina which runs out kind of quick, but overall it's a fun game if you like these kind of strategy games. Next up we have Food Battle the Game, published by Defy Media. Here's a RPG based on the YouTube channel Smosh, so it has humor and characters from that channel. So in this game you go through levels, and you can tap to move and tap on monsters to attack them. And the monsters are evil pastries. You can also swipe to dodge. There's lots of ingredients to collect in this game which you can use to create weapons and clothing. The game's not too bad and there are some puzzles. If you're looking for a Smosh themed RPG, check this game out. Next up we have My MonsterParty, published by BiCORE. Here's a cool new action RPG. The graphics look colorful and nice. It's one of those games where you can collect a lot of party members, so there's tons of creatures and heroes to collect. So you can either control your character with a joystick and button to attack, or you can use tab controls. There's PvP against other people's parties, which looks pretty cool but it's automated, and there's boss raids. There's tons of levels to go through where you can control your character. Each one is fairly short and then there's a boss battle. Fun social action RPG to check out. Next up we have Elemental Knights Online, published by Winlight. This used to be a paid MMORPG that not too many people knew about, and now it's free to play. And as you can see, it's already completely filled with people. When you start, you can customize your character and choose from 4 different classes, and there's some class changes later. There's a joystick to move around and a button to attack, but the combat is really point and click. It's a little slow, but there are skills to use. This game is like Iruna Online, but a lot more beginner friendly and tons of quests to get. It kinda has a story, and there's a lot of people to play with and a lot of content. If you want to try out this newly free MMORPG, go check it out. Next up, we have Soul Taker Face of Fatal Blow, published by AndromedaGames. Here's a new RPG, kind of like Summoner's War, but not really. When you start, you can play as 2 different classes. This game has some cutscenes and it kinda has a story, but it's mostly just fighting monsters. So you go through stages, fighting through waves of monsters, and you can collect these monsters to fight for you. So your character will automatically attack and you can choose when to use skills, and it's kind of turn-based. There's also this cool hyper skill to use. There's new equipment to get, cool boss battles, and the graphics look pretty good. The game might be a little generic, but it's an interesting RPG to check out. There's also this weird armor break thing in PvP. Next up, we have Creature Academy, published by Kabam. Here's a casual social RPG, kind of like Summoner's War. So you have stages to go through, and in each stage you tap the move and tap on enemies to attack them. So you go around killing enemies until you get to a boss battle, and you can have 3 characters which you can switch between, and of course there's tons of other characters to collect. What the hell is going on here?
My wrists are trembling with excitement.
So you go through monsters and then there's a boss battle. The graphics are colorful and not too bad. It's a little generic, but you can chat with other people, and it's fun collecting characters. If you like these kind of games, go check it out. Next up, we have Etherlords, published by Nival. It's over 9,000! Here's another game like Summoner's War, which is fine because Summoner's War is a good game. In this one, your characters automatically attack until this bar fills up, and then you can use a skill. The combat's still pretty fast paced even though you're not controlling most of it. This game has a unique stage system where you fight monsters to get these tiles, and then you use these tiles to put together a map, which unlocks the next stage and can also unlock new characters. Unlike most other free games though, this game does not require an internet connection, and there's also no energy. So people that like offline games should be happy about that. This game is really worth checking out. Dang, this guy got the bling. 20 stacks, baby! Next up, we have Age of Ishtaria, published by Silicon Studio. Here's a cool card-based RPG. The game has a story which is voice acted in Japanese, and there's a lot of voice acting. So you go through dungeons, and this is another game where you can do air combos like Cross Summoner. So it's turn-based and you choose your order of attacks, and different characters do different stuff, and can do these cool air combos. There's boss battles, lots of new cards to collect, and I like the artwork. It's a fun and unique card-based dungeon RPG, so go check it out. Next up, we have Legend of Master Online, published by GAMEVIL. Here's a new action RPG where you have a joystick to move around, a button to attack, and skills to use. When you start, there's 3 different classes: Warrior, Mage, and Archer. The ranged characters seem a little more difficult since you can't move while attacking, especially the Mage, who is really slow because of her large dice.
Damn, son!
This game has a dark fantasy theme, and the gameplay is very smooth. The graphics also look fairly nice. You can play co-op with up to 2 other people, and there's PvP. There's lots of stages to go through, and it's a cool action RPG to check out.
To protect our land! Demacia!
Next up, we have Hero's Charge, published by uCool. Here's a casual RPG similar to Summon Masters. You have a party of characters and you can unlock new characters from Dota. There's lots of stages to go through, which involves 2 waves of enemies and then a boss battle. The combat is automated, but there are skills to use. You can level up your characters and get new equipment. The artwork is not bad. Interesting casual RPG to check out. Next up we have Monster Strike, published by Mixi. So I saw this game like 2 or 3 weeks ago, but I never played it because I thought it was another name for Brave Striker.
Coco, piss out my ass!
But this is actually a different game, although the gameplay is exactly the same. So this is a unique slingshot RPG where you drag your characters and they bounce around attacking the enemies. There's lots of different characters to collect, and the gameplay is actually pretty fun. Also, when your characters touch each other, they activate a skill. It's a fun, unique, casual RPG to check out. And last, we have Raging Dragons, published by KAYAC. Here's a fun, casual RPG with some action elements. You play this cute princess knight. And there's lots of levels to go through, where you fight 2 waves of enemies and then there's a boss battle. So there's a button to attack and a button to block. So it's kind of action oriented and there's some timing involved. You can switch to different weapons depending on which enemies you fight. For example, bows do more damage to flying enemies. The game kinda has a story and there's tons of weapons to collect, and you can summon these characters who are actually weapons. I hear flapping. And there's skills to use. It's a casual but fun game to check out. Anyway, that's my list of the best free Android RPGs from August to November 2014. I also heard that the English version of Cross Summoner may be coming out in December, so keep an eye on that. Subscribe for more videos, and thanks for watching.